Good evening. Welcome to the Power Hour with Bach and Han. And we got Brady here tonight because Asa is sick. So get well, Asa. Thoughts and prayers, buddy.
Thoughts and prayers, brother. Get well.
W.B. Mason's really working him to the core.
Yeah, they're just, he's really, really sick. He's got a headache.
Oh, no.
So I have to say, now, I thought, people that get headaches are usually of the other sex.
Usually.
Like migraines are like a woman thing, right?
There seems to be like this, I don't know if it's like the moon with the tides, but there's like a cyclical thing here, right? Is that what we're talking about?
I feel like once a month he's got a really bad headache. That's what I think's going on. But hey, what do we got in this bag over here?
I heard that was some treats from my friend Meg over at the bistro.
Well, let's see what these treats are. Even though this is a power hour, maybe this is it
Mystery brown bag?
the mystery brown
I
bag?
swear it's not from Collins.
By the way, Danielle needs to get better snacks. Ooh, g'day. What's in yours?
Let's see. Oh, got a couple of things. G'day.
G'day. All right.
I'm going to take a chance here. 3 for 3.
Very nice. Hey,
We're batting 1,000.
if you start talking, maybe we can start talking some like. So next in Ukraine, we're gonna have. All right.
Why don't you put that on your head and root for the Patriots?
I'm telling you, it's not far off, right?
Well, it could be, right?
Belichick hasn't gotten a job yet. That's effed up, man.
No, but I read something on Facebook today, and granted, I know nothing about sports because have you seen my eyes? I can't play anything.
We can play blind beat baseball for the blind people. You're really good at that.
Yeah, but
Imagine the sniper interview match.
Please.
Like, why'd you even bother showing up, sir?
Just don't take those glasses off. I don't want to get. No, don't do it, man. Let me get off the. Oh no, get off the camera. All right. You were saying?
Andy Reid takes a job as the CEO of Wendy's, and Belichick ends up there.
All right, we'll see what happens. All right, where do we begin? So I wanted to talk about one thing, but we just had a very interesting conversation tonight. We were getting the keys for the podcast area here, right? The McFadden Memorial
Studio, yeah.
McFadden Memorial Studio. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
Memorial.
No, not
Interesting
Memorial.
word.
And we were talking to someone. We won't use her name because we didn't ask her if we could use her name.
That lady over there.
The lady over there who's had firsthand experience with Lowell's latest arrivals,
Yes.
the Haitian asylum seekers. Well,
She was a teacher, and she is also teaching adult ed.
Well,
I wasn't going to go that far. We just
Well,
had.
I mean, you don't have to say her name, but
All right.
give a little background knowledge for the listener. That's
All
all.
right, that's plenty. All right.
and she's teaching that community.
Yeah. So we're like, all right, well, how are they? Like, we were curious.
Yeah, and she said they're all hard workers, and they're thrilled for $15 minimum wage in Massachusetts, and English won't be that hard for them.
I don't know if she said that. The English seems to be the main stumbling block. So we spoke to someone earlier in the night who kind of echoed a similar situation where she's like, yes, they are very eager to work. These are the migrants we're talking about, the new, freshly arrived migrants.
I use the term
Eager to work, yet-
asylum seekers.
Asylum seekers, okay. Yet the English situation is creating a problem as
Do
far
migrants
as,
move on?
So, that bridging that gap between the employers that might want to hire you versus, like, how can I get you to work for me?
So
Functionally.
I'll tell you what I was surprised to hear is I thought the majority of these folks were like, low skilled workers, right? But it sounds like from what they were saying is that these people were like teachers and
Back in Haiti, yeah, like they were a skilled workforce there, but as Han said, English is a problem when they come here, and
yeah, but I mean if you went through the process to become like skills are skills, right? I mean,
right, unless you come to Massachusetts to be a teacher and then MTELs don't transfer.
well, that's just it, right? So You're going to have like educated people doing shit work.
Yeah, and like the educated people here can't even pass MTELs.
Oh, we don't want to talk about that yet. We'll talk about the teacher stuff later. I got a whole list of questions to ask you.
Okay, all right, I'm ready.
But then we were hearing what, like, so they're already in ESL classes. That's good.
Well, but she was mainly talking about the adults.
Yeah. Well, the kids, whatever. I mean, the kids will catch up.
Mm-hmm. And they'll catch up sooner than the adults will.
Yeah, but it's good to hear that the adults are at least. I mean, it's kind of a positive thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And luckily, this is the end. Like, we're not getting any more immigrants or people crossing the
hang
border.
on. Is it the end, though?
About that.
Because I thought, from what I've read on InsideLowell.com, there's only like 24 families that have shown up so far.
Yeah, that's it. We're not going to get any more ever. This is the end of it.
So
It's a one-time thing.
So all those people, for however much money Mara Healy paid, get that entire hotel?
Yeah, that's it. Then nothing else happens. Like, we're going to... It's like it's not an ongoing, like, once this is solved, like, this is it. There's no more. This isn't like an ongoing thing.
Oh, I get it. They're saving the rest of the space in the hotel for the homeless and bowl.
Yes, that's what's next. Jesus Christ. See, that's a problem, right? All right.
And then if there's any rooms left over, we'll take care of the homeless veterans.
Oh yeah, after
Is that the plan?
all within like 2 years.
Okay. All right. I was wondering.
God, what have we gotten ourselves into? Do you see the numbers, like in Texas? How many, just hundreds of thousands of people are coming in? Like, just they've cut the barbed wire.
The razor wire?
Which
Yeah,
I heard something that's coming down soon. Like the legislation was repealed
What, to cut the barbed wire or to have it up?
to take the barbed wire down.
You talking about the Supreme Court decision? Is that what you're
Maybe.
talking about? So essentially, that Supreme Court decision really is kind of like we're gonna just not do anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like to be continued with that whole decision, because everyone's saying, oh, the decision went against Texas. It was a pro-Biden decision. But the more I look into it, it looks like the reality of it is we'll just choose nothing here and wait until further developments come along. So I think that actual decision might come along later.
But I had heard that they were actually instructing them to take down the wire, right? So
Yeah, the feds, theoretically, the feds have been given the opportunity to remove the razor wire.
all right, if the razor wire is here in the other state, can you set it up over here and be like, all right, that's your federal one. We're going to set up a state one.
Well, that's what they did, right? I mean, essentially, that's what Abbott did, right? He's like, hey, I have a right to protect my state. And if you are going to, if you're going to be derelict, it's a dereliction of duty by the federal government, right?
Can they just put up a toll?
Yeah.
Like to get into Nashua?
They'll go into it.
You know,
Oh, man.
Or just like when we'll go around it, we'll go through Nashua to get to Merrimack instead of going up Route 3.
Well, so my thing is like, all right, if you look at the problem, right? If you want, like, if you have a group, like when the Cambodian immigrants came over, or they were asylum seekers, it was, you know,
like actual asylum seekers.
yeah, we kind of bombed the shit out of their country, and then they had a mass genocide. Like it was, you know, we probably owed them something. And
25% of the population got murdered. Yeah,
it was. Yeah, you can kind of make an argument for that, right?
it was kind of a good argument.
Yes. So you had like a set number of people that came over, they got acclimated, and now they're an incredibly like
Not the same as $15 an hour minimum wage versus whatever.
Well, I guess so. Like this, the group of asylum seekers that came over now, I think if this was it, you could take care of this. You could really, like, we could all pull together.
We could acclimate them to our community, and
Yeah, we could find them jobs. We could find them housing. It'd be great. Like we could do it, but you can't do it every like the tide has to stop.
well, so
Like,
have you
can't-
guys seen the videos of all the people at the airport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And the governor had her press conference the other day, and she was thanking Logan Airport and the state police and this person and that person because we've done such a great job taking care of these people. There's literally hundreds of people just sleeping on the ground in the airport. What are we doing?
But see, I just thought that was Spirit Airlines. I didn't know that was a migrant crisis. It's just like
No.
regular.
Well, I forgot about an Alaska Air segment.
Oh, well, no. If it was Alaska Air, they'd all be gone because
Seriously, I
the
just thought it
parts
was.
fell
I
off
just
the
thought it was
plane.
like a Pete Buttigieg's, Department of Transportation on a regular
Yeah.
day.
Well, there's been no train wrecks. Nothing.
Oh, no.
Well, no, there's a lot of train wrecks. They're just not physical.
Air travel's been great, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
air travel, trains with toxic materials. Everything's been going great.
by the way, I look like a Veruca Salt in this thing. The shirt's blue, but it looks purple. I look like a big blueberry.
You know,
Violet, you're turning
this shirt
violet,
has been getting a lot of discussion today.
Oh, wait, your shirt?
I like your shirt.
Your shirt's green. I thought it was blue.
It's greenish, yes.
I don't know.
And yours is definitely blue.
Yeah, but on...
Here I am being all gray and stuff.
Someone said we were twinning earlier. You have a blue shirt with jeans.
Oh, no, that was me when you walked in the back door of the old quad. I was like, oh, look at you guys being twins with collars on.
Right. I should have known the sniper.
Look at my eyes. Of course I can see it.
Sniper. Shit, that's a good nickname for Brady. Sniper.
So have you guys ever heard the nickname that Dave Choate gave me?
Oh, yes, I have.
Blind Fury.
Blind Fury.
Not bad.
That's pretty good. So I will admit, as we're talking to our new friend tonight about like what's going on, I was, like I said, if you had a group of people, you could handle it, but we can't do this every couple of months. Like you get a whole nother wave.
It's kind of like a landslide, right?
It
It's
is
too much at once.
Yeah, give us like 3 years before we get anybody else. This group of people will be fine, but you can't just.
Well, at that point, the people that we just took care of will be ready to train the next group.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I feel like though, maybe there was a lack of humor in some of our discussion tonight.
What do you mean when she like just walked away from you when you made your last comment?
I didn't think that was a bad comment. I just asked. I said
everything was good at our end of the bar, and then
you know what, Dutch, I agree. You know what? It really was a harmless comment. And you got the abrupt shutdown barge off.
I believe it was a swat and walk away.
Well,
I missed the SWAT. That was behind my head.
Listen, it was a legit question. Like all I was asking, like, all right, I know that Haitians speak French. So I was curious, is it French or French Creole? Right? That's a legit question.
Sure.
Turns out it's both.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, as a fat man, I want to know if they make gumbo. I don't know why that was so offensive.
Yeah. Well.
Would it be offensive? Like, I mean, if you ask people from Southeast Asia if they make spring rolls, is that offensive?
I'm not touching that.
Why don't they make spring rolls?
I'm not touching that.
Why? You don't like spring rolls?
Oh, they're so tasty.
There you go. It was just an innocent question. Anyways, I think the good thing to hear is that there's the group of people that we have sounds like some of them are educated, so maybe they can work in the schools.
Right, and they'll get the services they need, hopefully, not for too much money, and they'll be productive members of our community.
Yeah, until 100,000 more come in next month.
And then it's, I have no comment.
But luckily, like I said, there's no homeless people in Lowell right now or in the state. So,
right.
Now, hang on. What happens if the asylum status that's being sought is rejected? Will that happen? Could that happen? And what will that look like, Batch?
Not in this administration.
Well, if that happens, then they just stay at the Inn and Conference Center.
Well, hang on. Well, you say that, but if your asylum has been rejected, then what?
Do you think that Mara Haley's going to let people in there to deport people out of this country?
So if I think I might have read this wrong, but it takes like 2 or 3 years to have your hearing.
Is it that long?
Yeah, and one of the places that people get their case heard is in Boston.
Okay. Well,
I never would have thought that.
Like, let's just take Haiti, for example. If it's determined that Haiti doesn't have grounds for asylum, are all Haitians going to be group rejected?
No, it's one by one.
It's individually. I mean, how do you justify that? Because then you're venturing off the asylum path, are you not? I mean, I'm just asking.
Are you going to reject their asylum after their president just got assassinated?
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean.
Well, no, I mean, but after JFK got assassinated, U.S. citizens were granted asylum somewhere else.
Apples and oranges. Two
I
different.
don't know about that.
I don't know. I
don't think the assassination of your president is necessarily the.
By the way, this is
Mendoza line.
When it's taken over by a different organization.
Where's Asa with his gang lords here? You know.
Oh yeah.
Too bad for that headache.
Didn't he have a song from one of them? Oh no, that was somewhere
Does
else.
Nashua not sell Tylenol? What's going on?
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. You know what I learned the other day from
Hopes and prayers, guys.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
Hey, get well.
And by the way, this has got nothing to do with like Haitians as people,
Right.
Or like, yeah.
No, I'm just asking as a matter of
I mean,
procedure.
they're having a shit time. The country's, whatever.
In turmoil.
Yeah, but it's not just them, right? You got like Haiti, other countries that I can't think of. Like Ukraine's having a bad time. Like Chicago, like there's all kinds of places having bad times. I mean, where San Francisco, no, like.
Well, no, if you go to San Francisco, you're fine because you can just rob everything and then they're not going to charge you.
That's true.
Under $1,000, Brady. Let's get it right.
Sorry. I'm going to rob you.
Over 1,000.
So I can go grocery shopping every
might
week.
hassle you with an arrest.
And not pay and not get taken
All
to
right,
court.
I have a question. So, have you ever noticed that, like, we have a lot of Indians, not Native Americans, but Indians from India.
American, yeah.
Well, they're American Indians too.
But,
But people from India here,
yeah.
there are no Indian gangs. Are there?
Not that I've seen.
Am I wrong?
Are we talking like Slumdog Millionaire, like
Like Indians from
rounding up
India.
kids and using them as
No, like there's
pawns,
no like.
or are we
where's
talking like here in the United States?
here in the United States? There's not an
They're
organized crime element.
we're talking
of-
about the number one income earners in the United States, right? Asians are the
I thought
number
that was-
one.
Yeah.
I thought that was white.
No,
low-
No,
I thought it was white low public school administrators.
We'll talk about that after.
Is that a transition badge?
no, the trend.
I mean, because I'll gladly transition and throw my 2 cents in.
I don't.
We had a pre-conversation to the podcast about this earlier.
I don't want to get into transitions. I don't know how to handle that whole conversation.
Who does, Badge?
I'll just
Who
mess
does?
that up, No, but I'm saying like it's every group. Like,
No, the United States
I'm
Indian gangs aren't a problem.
listen, I'm half Italian, half Irish, so
Yeah.
my
here-
people had gangs. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
here's the
Little
thing.
organized crime aspect over
yeah,
there.
I mean the English had gangs. It was called the British Empire. Like everybody's had gangs. Like
But you're getting into like a subset because
Learn to code.
because the way
learn to
you-
code crypt.
So here's the thing: the way you put it, you said that the Asians in America are the highest earning,
yeah.
but you said there's no Indian gangs. So you're getting into the next level down.
no, but I know that like in the Indian. Like India isn't just like Indians. There's a million different subsets of the.
Right. But that's like how
Caste
there's a
and
million
such.
different subsets of Asian.
Yeah, but no,
And
like,
Indian is-
India's very much like it's very divided, caste, whatever, religion, this and that. So it's not like we're getting all the same people from the same part of India.
No.
But
Like,
there's no
it's
Indian,
not-
like there's no Indian crime. Like, is this a real? Am I being
I
racist?
don't know. Why don't you Google it? I'm sure there's plenty of crime
I don't
over
think
there.
it's racist.
I
think
just
it's
thought of it
being-
now. I didn't do any prep on
You're
this.
just observing. I don't see any Indian.
You're not
Indian
seeing it
crime.
here, but I'm sure that there is plenty of Indian crime in the world, just like there is plenty of
Yeah,
crime
in India, but not in
anyone.
Lowell, I'm saying.
No, but I'm saying in general, like that beat's still going on down there.
That's our soundtrack. You can't hear it. Why? What's downstairs?
I don't know. There's some sort of thumping
Oh,
going
there's
on.
a church downstairs.
Church?
Oh, that's right on the backside.
Yeah, the backside church.
Is it like Studio 54 church?
Yeah,
What's going
no,
on? Because it sounds like a club.
There's a lot of churches in Lowell.
It is what 1 or 2 on Middle Street.
Oh, what a shame. I'm not
Well,
ashamed.
Molly Case is a church now, right?
Is it really?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, Molly Case is a church.
I didn't know that.
Wouldn't that be a great place for homeless shelter? Like, can't they just move from over there to over there?
What, to Molly Case at the end of that little loop over
I mean,
there?
no, obviously you'd have to knock it down, and you'd have to take out the Hanoi Jane urinal if it's still there.
Oh,
It's got to still be there.
It's got to be.
That's like a museum piece.
Teddy said they've got. He's getting a laptop with like podcast stuff. The mobile podcast. It'd be worth going to that church to see if Hanoi Jane is still in the bathroom over there. All right, transition time.
All right, cool.
So recently, I heard there's a little controversy at Lowell.
A little bit.
These little fuckers were told they can't play games on their cell phones all day, and they started crying.
He means students.
And some weirdo sent out like a blah blah blah.
I think that's a bad way to put it.
All right, civically engaged student who
Yes.
felt very much that his rights were being infringed on because he couldn't look at his stupid cell phone.
This was a he?
You know what? I don't want to assume anything.
I was going to say.
Could
Sounds
be a
like
he,
you're assuming.
Could be a she, could be a they.
I have no idea.
So this
I don't
individual
know.
sent.
So there's
I
gonna be
saw the words on paper. I don't know who they were written by.
there was going to be a student walkout, right?
Yeah.
Did not occur.
It was scheduled for Wednesday. The cell phone lockbox had not arrived yet, so I assume we are now like officially employing this policy on Monday. So we shall see. Maybe the student walkout has been rescheduled for Monday because that's when the actual launch day has been moved to.
All right, so now we're old as fuck. So we didn't have cell phones when we were in high school. You must have had them, right?
Yeah.
So did you guys get to use them?
We weren't. No, we
Well,
weren't.
they didn't
allowed-
have anything. It was just flip phones back then.
No, I got my first iPhone sophomore year.
Oh, okay. So, like, were you allowed to carry them around?
No, like even to the point that like if we had our phone out in the hallway between classes before school or after school, they would still take them away.
But you were at the Vogue, right?
I was at Griddle Technical High School.
Like I said, the Vogue. So,
Like Timmy Fallon would be like him and his minions that he had out there on the streets. They'd come after us with our phones, and our parents would have to come pick them up from the school.
oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's
Yeah, so if your phone got taken away as a student, your parent had to come pick it up at the end of
That
the
used to be
day
the policy in theory.
by 3 p.m. when the deans left.
Yeah.
wow, that's pretty harsh. I mean, it makes sense.
We turned out all right.
I don't remember if we could have our beepers in class.
I mean, great old.
I don't even
We didn't
think
have
had
beepers.
We
No,
didn't have
no.
beepers yet.
Like, because I thought about that. I'm like, I definitely had a beeper in college, but not in high school.
All right, so then we find. So I hear about this, right? I'm like, I support this. It's a good idea.
The advocacy of the students, or by students, or the policy.
No, put your cell phone away. You're in class,
I agree. With
right? So, but then I'm like, what's the big deal? Like, they can just in the 4 minutes they get between classes, they can look at their phone, or they can leave it in their locker, or this and that.
There's no lockers batch.
So when did the lockers go away? This is my whole point.
The lockers still exist.
Did you have lockers?
No students use them.
Every student at Great Old Tech has a locker assigned to them.
They did, or they still do?
No, they do.
So why don't you guys have lockers? Where the hell are the lockers?
Okay, so prior to COVID,
Right now, they're in a dumpster somewhere because that building came down.
prior to COVID, everyone was assigned a locker.
Okay, that makes sense.
Once COVID hits, lockers just kind of were out.
Why?
Imagine
Don't
how
know
much
what-
bigger you could have made classrooms if you didn't put the lockers in the building.
You know
Yeah,
what?
but you
I'll
need a
tell you-
locker for your books and all your crap.
It could
Well, there's no
be-
books anymore, Batch.
Yeah.
Everything's online. Every kid has a Chromebook. All text is online. You don't walk around with a textbook anymore.
So there's some
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole, incorporation of Chromebooks into regular instruction during COVID specifically,
Yeah.
right? So now Chromebooks are kind of,
it's the
norm
mainstream
a little bit.
for education.
I mean, do students still have books? Sure. Right? Do they all have books? Not like they used to. Like you don't
You
have,
don't
like
have a
5 or
book for
6
every
books.
subject.
You don't have a book for every class. I think that's abnormal now. You know what I mean?
All right.
I'm not passing judgment whether it should be or shouldn't be, but that's how it is. So do kids need the lockers? Because kids kind of, you know how it was, right? Oh, I have to go grab my book for this class. I got to run over to the new building and then
Yeah, it
go
was a
back
pain in the
over.
ass, but
Yeah, it was impractical. It took a lot of time.
but I used
So
to keep nips in my locker. So just
maybe it was, hey, now that you have a Chromebook, you don't need a locker, and you can just go from point A to point B as efficiently as possible, and none of the hanging out in the hallway.
Exactly.
and
They want you to
clogging up the
go from class to
corridors.
class expeditiously.
Yeah,
how long do they get between classes?
they have 5 minutes.
That's a lot of time. I think Great Lowell has
a
2
lot of
minutes.
Yeah, but you need a break, man. Like
The freshman academy, right, where they got to like leave the building and transition potentially to the gym.
There's a gym there
5
now?
minutes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
max.
The new building.
Yeah, so there's a new gym.
That nice
You
parking
should go
lot.
Check it out.
all right, so but
How are the bathrooms in there?
well, wait, but what do they do with their coats?
Not plentiful.
What happens to the coats?
They don't wear coats. They can't.
Coats. What are you talking? Coats.
Come on, like kids have to have
Yeah,
coats.
well, like galoshes too, Batch. What are we talking?
No, but like if it's gym class, they got to bring their gym clothes. Like, where is everything? They don't
So
get a locker?
I think that kids probably. I'm not in the gym, so I can't say, but I would assume that kids for gym class, they take like a combination lock with them and just pop a locker open, throw their clothes in there, lock it up, and then move on with their day.
So you basically get a walk. What about your lunch? You got to walk around.
It's a
everything
great
all
reason
day.
to get Paul McCarthy on this
I
show.
don't think anyone packs a lunch anymore. Very few people. or they have it in their
How's that
bag.
cafeteria doing
God.
over there these days? They're still selling bonbons.
I'm in the old building.
I didn't even go there, and I knew that they were selling bonbons. That was the best thing to get there.
They used to,
Bonbons, huh?
the food wasn't that bad.
The burgers actually were pretty good.
Yeah, they were good when we were there.
You could get a double. It was pretty solid.
Mrs. Shanahan used to work over there. She knew how to cook stuff. She was at the Robinson too. But no, so like my point is like, so I saw a picture of the cell phone.
boxes?
Yeah, it looks like a wine fridge or whatever, or like an old CD case. But like, how friggin' long is it going to take these kids to put the cell phones in and get them out?
Well, we'll have more feedback for you next week, buddy.
So I've seen
It's got to be at least.
Well, first of all, day one is going to be a train wreck. The first week is going to be a train wreck because you have 3,000 absolute addicts that are being told cold turkey today for all of you.
But now I have
right? Like, how's that going to go? Seven waves because you have 7 classes, right? So 7 waves of cold turkey for you, cold turkey for you. Like, you know, these kids, every year you hear it. You don't pay for my bleeping phone. You don't get to tell me what to do. Okay, yeah, all right. And then it's security, take your phone. So just so you know what the policy is, if they don't give you your phone and they pull their phone out, you're going to essentially have security take them to their house office. They have to give up their phone. They can get it at the end of the day. Second offense, 5 days of turning in their phone at their house office, and they can get it at the end of the day. Third offense is 20 days. And then your fourth offense is 40 days. And then any offense over that is an additional 40 days. So that's how it's how it's drawn up.
I'm really curious. Who drafted this policy?
So they had like a group, like a team that put it together. And I got to say, right, they worked on this for a while. So like I got to give those people credit.
Who's the team made up of?
Teachers and administrators. I'm not exactly sure. I wasn't on the team, so I can't say. But
Like
it was like definitely a group of teachers got
Like
together.
$2 million in salary.
Did this policy have to go before the school committee for approval?
It did. I think I think they initially shot it down in the summer,
Okay.
and then
Well, they don't meet in the summer. They're too busy up in Ryan, New Hampshire.
whether it's prior to the summer or whatever, right at the
Did
end
the
of the
school
year.
committee contact the union to see what the union thought?
How does
How
Paul George
do
at
my
the
voters
UTL
They
feel?
forgot to sign the contract to do that. So,
Speaking of contracts,
well, we get to that in a minute. But anyhow,
Oh,
they did
wait, what's this?
no, I was going to go to
inflation.
Newton.
Oh, Newton.
Oh. All right, go. Hold on. I want to go back to that. What?
Well, anyway, so initially, I think that the school committee rejected a proposed cell phone plan. It probably wasn't the same one, but so there was a proposed cell phone plan that the school committee rejected because, again, they raised questions of what happens if there's something going on at the school. Parents need to reach their children through the cell phone.
But here's the
Come on, are
thing:
you
the school
serious?
committee has a
I'm
different
not
makeup now.
picking a
Like,
side.
What do you mean? Like, what if you have to call? Like,
We have a phone in every room, just so you know.
Right,
There's
like-
a phone, so if
if
a
the
parent
heat
needs to
doesn't
reach
work,
their
I don't
child-
guarantee the phone works.
for 200 and something years, everybody was fine.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta tell my kid he's good. His dentist appointment changed. Like, come on.
I don't know. If you're a viewer of this podcast and you're like iffy on this policy, just from a teacher's perspective, the cell phones have absolutely destroyed education in the
Yeah.
past decade. Okay.
And if you're a parent
So-
that feels like you need to have contact with your child all the time, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Quit being a helicopter parent.
And here's the
lighten
thing:
up.
if you're a school committee member and you're archaic like some of the new ones, they're gonna vote. Well, you know, in my day, I had 38 years of education and teaching at the Lowell High School, and we never had the cell phones there, and
You don't-
our
they don't
kids
need
worked
the-
out
why do
okay.
they need the cell
And I
phone during
agree
the
that
day?
they worked out okay, but still, like to force, and I hate to use the term forcibly, but to forcibly require these students to lock their phones away.
I think it's totally acceptable.
So do I.
And I'm not disagreeing.
They don't have the discipline not to look at it.
No,
Right.
they're absolutely 100% addicted.
But how much time is that going to take out of the education process for these kids to have to put their phones away and get them out at the end
Brady,
of class?
you know how much time they're spending actually paying attention and stuff? They are so distracted by the phones.
I mean, at
that
the end,
they
at the end of
can't
the day,
absorb,
Well, maybe
whether
not
these
understand any
kids
Maybe
information.
teachers shouldn't be so boring.
are wasting their time looking at their phones
so.
during class, or
Hey, listen.
you're wasting the time for these kids to put their phones away before and after class, you're going to lose out on it.
So why can't they just turn it off, man? Or just not look at it?
no.
Like,
I understand that.
know, I
That's my
understand that.
generation.
I know.
But I'll say this: I used to say this to people, right? If you want to cut your discipline problems in half,
You hire Timmy Fallon.
significantly increase your MCAS scores, right? If you want to do all this stuff, kids are going to learn more. They're going to, pro-social, pro-emotional behaviors, all that stuff, right? Get rid of phones. Phones are an absolute disaster to every single one of those categories. Now that they're gone, so we'll find out how it's going to go.
Now, I have a question for you about discipline at the high school. What are things like now that Dr. Howe's retired?
Dr. Howe really had nothing to do with discipline.
Wasn't she the chair of discipline over there?
I don't know.
I believe that was in her title.
I don't think she had a whole lot to do with discipline. I mean, the disciplinary structure.
So that was just the school committee making up another title for someone to get $150,000.
I didn't say that. Those weren't my words. Those weren't my words, Brady. I did not say that. But I just, the structure is essentially you have the headmaster.
You can't call them that.
Well, excuse me.
And then you
head
have
of schools. Head of schools.
So back in the day, you had the
house
headmaster,
the house dean,
and you cut the master out of the equation, right? Because they used to have the master.
Wait, I have a question too.
That old guy.
Should we really delineate the different groups of students by saying house? Like, isn't that unfair to the unhoused?
You know what? I hadn't thought of that.
It's a little insensitive because we've heard that the majority of students at Lowell High are unhoused.
So you know what? Hey, that's your cluster head right there.
My what?
Your cluster. You're in this cluster or this segment of students at Lowell High. That's not your house, not your house master. It's your cluster chair, your cluster dean.
Cluster head. I'm just gonna leave that alone.
The vocabulary Olympics, badge.
So
what can we do?
But no, honestly, I feel like getting all those cell phones into that wine fridge is going to be a problem.
Oh, so I fully expect next week for kids. I don't have a phone. Oh, you've had a phone every single day for the last 3 years, but today
every class,
you don't have it, sir.
So every class has one.
So the
beginning of class, you put it in.
Every room has this lockbox with a key.
Yeah.
So essentially, all right, new class coming. Here comes period 1. Okay, guys, put your phone in the box.
Did anybody test this shit before they rolled
What's
it
the
out?
Well, one teacher did actually. That's a good question, Batch. So one teacher did it last year and actually provided data.
Oh, let me hear the data.
So the data, I don't have it memorized, but essentially the data.
I say data.
So the data on his class from prior to cell phones being locked up to cell phones being like it was significantly total increase in student production.
No, I'm talking about time though. Like it just seems like
time. I don't know the time.
How many kids in a class now?
It depends. I have small classes, so I'm in a different world.
Like when I went to school, it was like 42.
Right. 40, it's lower than that.
I'm really curious about what the expectation is of teacher.
But it was like 30.
Jammed in the theater?
No, it was like 28 kids, right? 29?
Yeah, I'd say in the 20s.
Listen, we didn't have paras,
A regular ed class doesn't necessarily have a para. I mean, most of them don't.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm in special ed, so
You always have a para.
Yeah. I wouldn't say always, but we have paras when, the numbers exceed the minimum we should have. So I should have 8 or less, but if I have 9 or 10, then they have to assign a para.
I mean, 10 kids getting cell phones out of the wine fridge should be fine, but a regular.
But I want to.
I'm sorry, a typical. Can I say typical? I don't.
I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go around the room. Okay, you have a phone. Put it in the box. Right?
Well, and that's what I want to know. What is the expectation of teacher enforcement on this?
So that's an interesting question.
Is that outlined in the SOP?
So
does school districts have SOPs?
Standard operating procedures.
Yeah.
They have a department head of SOPs and a doctor of SOPs.
So I'm
Dr. Sop.
So I'm going to say that.
I'm going to bite my tongue on that one.
Yeah, better. So they've made it clear.
Dr. Soppy.
So we had a meeting on the last half day, professional development day, and the team that put together this policy.
So was this last Wednesday?
Whatever Wednesday it was. I can't remember. It was the last one of the 2 Wednesdays back. Whatever.
So how to keep track of all those half days?
Well, it's a full day. Actually, it's an extra day, right? We stay late on those days.
Right. Just for these guys.
But anyway, so the team essentially kind of clearly stated what the policy is, how it's going to work out, and they made it very clear that it's not a choice for you. It's not like you, Batch, the history teacher, can just say, you know what, I don't agree with this policy. Don't worry about it, guys. If you want to have your phones, you can have them. Like, no. Like, you have to do it.
Okay, but how long is the teacher supposed to fight the student on this if they deny it? Or do they just say, get the hell out of my
As in, if the
classroom, go to
student
the
says
dean?
refuses to,
Yeah.
so then you just call security. Security comes to get the kid, take the phone, and move on with their day. That's the policy.
How big is your security force?
Now,
Probably not big enough for this coming week because there is no way you're not going to get
10 guys or like or people.
I don't know, like maybe 7. I'm not really sure exactly.
do we have an opinion from the superintendent on this policy?
I would have to assume, and I don't know, I don't want to speak for him, but I would have to assume he's in favor of this.
I mean, at the Daily, if we had anything out, boom, got taken away.
Okay, well, then I would assume that his position is the same. And it got passed, so, I would assume he's on board, right? Because he was the acting superintendent when this moved forward. Although I think it's the school committee that made the call, right? They had to have approved this.
Well, I mean, the school committee has to vote on the handbook, and this.
And the thinking is that this is going to be state law as well. So I think that we're ahead of the curve on this.
Oh, really?
And I think that the thinking is that it's going to, because the data as far as student learning, social, emotional, indicators, all that good stuff, it's all horrific. It's all showing.
No,
that the
I
phones
totally
are
believe that.
awful. The phones are just destroying.
It's a
kids.
detriment to education.
What? You can't learn it. I mean, it's and listen, it's not just the kids at school. Like
Teachers are on their phones.
no, but it's at the workplace too. Like,
Yeah.
There's like where you worked is there? Well, you work in a
Private industry, but yeah.
in a basement in a room by yourself. But like
I mean, yeah, but yeah.
when you used to work around people with their cell phone issues.
Yeah, all the time. To the point that like there were cell phone issues. I worked with older people at that time where cell phone issues weren't a thing, but it was like taking personal calls at work was a thing.
Like on the dial-up.
Yeah, like people were calling in like, "Hey, Joni's sister's on the phone," and it's like Joni's gonna take that call and be on that call for 15 minutes at her desk.
Wait, that would still happen?
Yes.
Honestly, I don't think I've answered my phone in like maybe a year and a half.
Yo, see, so
From a phone call?
Yeah, if it goes in my office, if it goes to the
Oh,
phone,
office. Okay, yeah.
I let it go to voicemail. And then I
speaking
see
of the
who called.
phone, 11 minutes ago, missed call from Catherine.
Oh yeah. Okay, but so I think it's hard to like.
I talk on the phone all the time.
So, but I do have sympathy for the kids. Like I understand.
Like,
Probably
hey,
feels.
I don't.
unfair. I get it.
sucks
Like
for the
they're like
kids,
these kids
but-
grew up with these things, right? And
It's just a necessary move.
but it's just you're there for like 6 hours.
But
right?
here's
It's
the
not even
thing,
a- it's not even a full day, right, hon?
No,
So can I speak from the young
he
student?
loves the cheap shot. Batch loves the cheap shot.
Let me talk from the perspective of like someone who was born way before you guys. So like now we're at the point where like, all right, we're gonna take your phones away, we're gonna lock them away because you're gonna leave school, you're gonna go to college, you're gonna get into the real world, they're gonna take your phones away, you're not gonna be able to use your phones. I remember I was in like, I don't know, 4th, 5th, 6th grades, and they're like, you're gonna have to write in cursive for everything. You have to write in cursive for everything. Now, we won't accept anything. Guess what? We moved on. Technology evolved. I had to type everything. I haven't written anything in cursive since then.
I missed your point.
They're telling you that you're gonna have to put your phone away because that's what it's gonna be like in the real world. But in reality, nobody gives a shit if you take your phone.
Brady's
out of the real world.
opposed to the cell phone.
I'm not opposed to it. I just think that it's
You don't like to tell kids what to do? Like,
no. I just think like the whole locking it away is like a big thing.
Yeah, but
they
well,
are.
so
They,
you know, like-
no, hang on.
Are we beyond the point of like,
no,
hey,
no.
put your phone in your backpack?
Yo, we're way beyond that. So we've tried that for years.
So
Put your
that's-
phone away.
But that should be the
There's
goal.
been-
That should be the goal. It's like just to put it like
Yeah.
the goal should be like just turn your phone off.
If some kid doesn't turn their phone into the box and has it in their backpack and just leaves it there, is there going to be any issue at all whatsoever? No.
No, there's going to be an issue by the other kids. Be like, God, Jimmy didn't put his phone in the fucking box.
Oh wait, so
I'm
they
not
can-
gonna discuss rats
So they
here.
can do that. They can do that. They can just leave it in their backpack.
I'm not here to search bags. Like if you tell me you don't have a cell phone,
All right, I see.
I'm
I
not
see what-
strip searching anything.
All
But
right,
if
this-
but
this
if
should
but if
work.
I asked you, hey Batch, I need you to put your phone. Oh, I don't have one today. And then 3 seconds later, you know, like watching
Snapchat.
reel after reel, see ya. Like you gotta ship your phone.
Do you ever see people that are like, well, we could talk about this. You're married, so I don't know how this works. But like, people like they go out on a date, couples, whatever, and they're both on their phone. Nobody's talking to
I
each
hate
other.
that.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just I think
Hey, you ever gone on a date with a girl that you met online and you try to carry the conversation and she's just on her phone the whole time?
Batch is the co-star of the Tinder podcast.
That's
he
right.
knows all about this.
I've never experienced like somebody that was like when you're talking to somebody they just look at their phone. That doesn't really happen to me.
It hurts.
Huh? Have you done? Does it happen to you?
Oh, hang on. How did you handle it?
And just,
You're like, hey, I got a lockbox over here.
Did you take her fucking phone and smash it?
no, we split the bill and I left.
I know you like you Venmo'd her.
You tossed the phone on the other side of the restaurant?
But it's a. By the way, I'm gonna do a promo unsolicited. Do you know Jerry Drinks from the Old Court? He does Image Theater. He's from Buffalo, and every time he walks in the bar, the Boston sports team like gets scored on or whatever. Jerry Drinks. He does Image Theater, but he's a playwright, and he does he did the what was that thing the film festival we went to.
Oh, the thing upstairs, the short films?
Yeah.
Oh, Teddy was in that.
Ben Zantz. He's an optometrist and a playwright.
Yeah, but Zantz
Goes together. So he's doing a he wrote a play and it sounds really good. It's at the old train station, the somebody and somebody.
Oh,
Donahue.
the Richard and Nancy Donahue place over there.
Yeah.
Next to the
It's
bar they
called
closed
Lost Cell Phone, and it's about a guy who loses his cell phone for a weekend. It's like he wrote a whole musical.
Sounds like freedom.
So I've seen the thing pop up on
Sound of
Facebook
Freedom?
a
You know
couple
what?
times.
But that's just it. Like this is how addicted we've all become to cell phones. Like if you didn't have your phone for a whole weekend, you would go effing
Well,
nuts.
and so
No.
I went to this thing.
I mean, I wouldn't.
And
but-
the keynote speaker, and what she was saying was, when was the last time?
Sorry,
When was the last time that you
time for me to go to church.
knowingly and willingly left your house without your phone?
I did it not too long ago,
For how long?
like half an hour.
Like never. I'll say this. So I was playing golf
I didn't like it though.
and
Recently?
an errant tee shot hit my phone one time. Just destroyed my cell phone. So perfect shot.
Oh, really?
Crushed my phone. Like there was an actual round indentation in the face of my just
Oh,
destroyed
Did
it.
you
right?
keep that phone?
I should have taken a picture of it or something, but
your phone?
my phone was broken. So,
You
but
couldn't do a
anyway,
screenshot of your
so
screen?
it was destroyed. So I didn't have a phone. The skinny of it is I didn't have a phone for 3 days, right? And it was awesome. It was like, oh, I don't, I'm not accountable to anybody. You know what I mean? Like I'm just kind of living life. No one can get a hold of me.
How
Like,
did he call his bookie?
I loved it. There's a landline, Brady. This little thing called a landline, my friend.
I don't know what that is.
But anyway, I just have to say, it was like 3 days of pure liberation.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I want
It
to
sounds like 3 days of libation for him.
I know. Well, I almost want to do a night where you're like, all right, like we're all gonna go out tomorrow night, but we're not gonna text each other. Like we're just going out and see if we can find each other, because that's how we used to do it, right?
Yeah,
That'd
yeah.
be like, and we kind of do it now, but like,
But you know what, though?
But we know where to go.
I know
Go to XYZ's house. You know what I mean? And
I mean, if it's pretty easy to find.
there was like a rally point. There was like ahead of time you had a rally
Like you walk
point.
into my, hey, did you see so? Oh yeah, they went over to wherever. Like
Right.
it
It was
used to
easy.
be able to do it all the time.
Yeah.
We do it sometimes now.
Those skills are absolutely gone for the youth of America. I think we could go back to it. No problem.
I could.
I could.
I'm on the cusp because like I went all through middle school, no phone. Like it was high school. I had to buy a phone, and I really couldn't do much because I couldn't afford a data plan, and we didn't have Wi-Fi in the schools.
Like my dad's 81 years old. He's addicted to his phone. My friend's mother's like,
Who's not addicted to their phone?
everybody is. It's
Everybody
like crack.
is.
It's
Absolutely.
awesome. You can just think about it. It's just made to be like,
It's far less harmful.
For kids in school too, it's like it's their social like.
Well, 'cause they don't know how
who
to
cares-
talk to people.
Who cares if I'm like in a, for lack of a better term, inferior social circle? I have my phone. It kind of like it's like my shield. It's like my protection.
yeah, but don't you think even though there's, no matter what device you have or how, there's still going to be social hierarchy.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt about it.
You know what I mean? Like, you
But a
can't
lot
get
of
rid
kids rely on that phone for that social status or whatever.
Well,
you
right,
wanna
because they
call
all
it.
care about their snap streaks and their this and their that.
You know what I mean?
They're what?
Snap streaks
What the fuck is that?
on Snapchat. They have to keep their streaks and their score going up.
Do you have Snapchat?
I don't.
Neither do I.
I do.
What's your snap streak at?
I think my highest snap.
I've never
streak-
said, "Can I get you a snap?" ever.
Let's see.
Snap streak.
My highest.
When you get scared, you leave a snap streak.
I remember, you know what though? I'll say
What?
this is funny. Like, so I took my son's phone before, and he's like, "You're gonna ruin my streak," and I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" Right?
My highest streak is at 2,376 days.
Hang on, you for real?
Yeah.
You had a streak of like what is that?
Wait, that's
That
like,
just means that
7 years?
that means that I snap that person every day.
6 or 7 years?
who the hell was it?
That's
You
not important.
snap somebody?
I got one at
every day.
1472.
That's like
That's insane.
2,000 something. That's over.
I got one at
Can
1522.
we turn Brady in?
I know, right?
Um,
That's a lot of years, kid.
but then
We need
like,
an intervention.
but here's the thing: like, kids care about their snap scores, not their streaks, their scores, because you get a score on Snap.
Whoa.
And
You gotta have a score, sir.
I've never
where is
been.
it?
I've never been more ashamed of you as being my
Me?
kid ever.
So my score is only 184,000. These kids today are like 2 million. I've had Snapchat since it came out my senior year of high school in 2012.
Wait, so that mean every time you do one, you get like a score or
you
whatever?
get a point every time you send a snap or
This
receive
is
a
the
snap.
most. This is ingenious how these people do this.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a snap company or whatever.
Snacker?
Yeah.
Yeah, them too.
Snap Inc.
But anyway, like I mean, imagine getting people to engage all the time because it's like
You know what?
break the
I think-
record.
And here's the thing:
It's
if
like
you-
playing video
if you
games
don't
back in the
respond
day.
to someone within 24 hours, you get a timer, and then you see the timer.
So it's reminding you,
And people
hey
are like-
asshole,
they're
you're
like-
gonna- you've had a 6-year streak.
And like, if you don't,
you
send,
piece of
responded.
trash.
if you don't send
you
something,
better
but,
you better send him a snap, you piece
and
of
here's
trash.
the thing: Snapchat is
God.
How
Snapchat.
dare you let this streak
never,
end?
Hang on, it
I've
gets
never
better.
done this in my life. I'm so glad I'm so old.
It gets
Yeah,
better.
me too.
Snapchat has capitalized on it.
Cheers,
Where
Cheers to being old.
if you say you lose your streak, it'll tell you lost your streak.
Did you start over?
You can start over, or you can pay Snapchat money to get it back.
All right, that's just all right. Take those phones away.
Are we talking about parlays or what are we talking about?
Snap streaks, parlays.
Well, never have I. This is a great way to end. I found this book out there, and it's the what does that say?
Starfish Among Us by Matt George.
I don't know what this book is about, but when I think starfish,
Yeah.
I think of somebody with
There's a very specific direction.
I think of somebody with a 2,000-day streak on Snapchat. You are a starfish for sure. All right. Well, good luck to the kids with their phones. Good luck to
Good luck to the security team at Lowell High next week.
Our French-speaking
Hold the line.
gumbo eating or making people, and I don't know. Just do the best we can, Lowell. That's all we have.
We'll see you next time.
I will see you next time. Bye.